Hey everybody, this is Christopher Small with CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning, we do probate, we do it well. Today, I want to talk to you about how to get your inheritance faster. And before that, I want to remind you, if you need help with estate planning or probate or anything in between, please reach out to us by going to estatemeeting.com. You can talk with us over the phone or in person for free, estatemeeting.com. So today's topic, as always, comes from a client of mine who I got a phone call. I got a phone call from this place. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it is a probate. What do? They pre-fund inheritances for people, and they take a little bit of a cut on the back end of some sort. I'm sure there's interest involved or some sort of a cut involved, and I got a phone call from there, and that, by the way, is one of the ways that you can do that. Quite frankly, if you are an heir, if you are going to be receiving an inheritance from an estate and you cannot access that for whatever reason, but you know it's coming eventually, there are companies out there that will sort of like front you the money. The downside is you're paying relatively high interest most of the time, or just a straight up percentage of the award. You are signing that portion over to them often, which is interesting in and of itself. Not something I'm necessarily a big proponent of, but it does exist. So if you're in a bind and you need some cash, you might be able to utilize that aspect. But for me, and for anybody that asked me, that would be a plan B. Plan A, which is quite simple, is to simply reach out to the personal representative of the estate or the trustee, depending if it's a trustee, it's a little bit different, but the personal representative of the estate, and ask them if they would be willing to pay you some of your inheritance or distribute some of your inheritance earlier than they might otherwise do. And often estates have a decent idea of the creditors that are involved in an estate, the bills that are involved in an estate, the fees that are involved, and they can reasonably distribute some of those proceeds before the probate is complete. There is no rule that sets a timeline for the distribution of proceeds. It often just happens after the creditor claim period, just in case there are creditor claims that were not known about, and estate funds need to be used to pay those off. Because I have seen that happen before as well, where nobody thinks there's going to be a claim, and all of a sudden, boom, there's like a DSHS claim, of several thousands of dollars, several tens of thousands of dollars that weren't expected, and you want to make sure that you didn't distribute that money out early, because then you would have to go and ask for it back to pay those debts off. So if you know that you are an heir to a probate, so someone has died, and you are set to receive some money from that estate, and you need that money earlier than normal, you can't wait, or you would prefer not to wait for whatever reason, then, like I said, plan A would be to just reach out to the personal representative and ask them if they would be willing to distribute some or all of your share of the inheritance early. Often they won't do it all for what I just talked about, because they want to hold on to some to pay taxes, to pay debts, just in case. But they may be willing to distribute some of it, knowing reasonably well what the debts and what is likely going to have to be paid out by the estate is going to be. Plan B, a distant plan B, would be to use one of those companies that will sort of provide you a loan that is paid back by the proceeds of the inheritance. But like I said, you typically end up paying a decent chunk of change for that service. So if you're in a bind, consider those two things. Often you can't just go get a regular old loan. The will itself specifically doesn't allow for that, which makes banks or anybody else that would loan you the money hesitant, because it's typically not possible for you to assign those interests to somebody else, which is what that's called. And I'm not sure how the loan companies, the inheritance loan companies, get around that, but they do, I'm guessing, or they wouldn't be in business. But that's how you do it. Okay? Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you like this, please hit the like button. If you know someone that needs to hear this, please share it with them. If you have questions or comments, please leave them. Thank you for your time. I am Christopher Small. I am the unconventional. No, I'm not. I am the owner of CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning. We do probate. We do it well. If you have questions about this or anything else and you would like to talk with us over the phone or in person for free, you can go to estatemeeting.com. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you again soon.